Welcome to the classification essay. This is the second essay in our English 101 class. It's the second formal essay that you'll be turning in. And my goal is to give you a little insight or explanation into why we do this classification essay. What is it really? And then how do you choose a topic that will lend itself for you to have a successful essay? So when we talk first about classification, I want you to think of it as a method of communication. It is not the goal, it's how we are going to communicate a topic. To make that a little clearer, maybe in your first essay, I asked you to share with me an experience that changed you or made you who you are, and you wrote about a divorce or a death or a trip or an experience, and the task was to share that in a story. And that's why we did a narrative. You took the goal of how you were changed and communicated it through a narrative. So moving on into classification, instead of telling a story, a narrative, to help you explain something, you are going to classify it. You're going to divide it up. So you're going to take a topic that is complex or has some depth to it and divide it up to show me the similarities and differences within that topic. So it really is a systematic arrangement of groups or categories according to an established criteria, but the big question would be, why do we even do it? Classification is something you're going to use over and over, not only in school, but in your life. You may have last year read a book in English class, The Scarlet Letter, Tale of Two Cities, whatever. And your teacher might have asked you to write an essay on the theme. And you divided it up by different characters, or you divided it up by the beginning of the book and the middle of the book and the end of the book. So you classified the theme according to different aspects. Or maybe you were in an art class and the teacher asked you to write a paper on a particular artist, and you might have divided it up into beginning work, middle work, end work. Or you might have said, here's the artist compared to this one, that one, that one. So, we do a lot of explaining by putting things in chunks. And when you are finished with your college education, your boss might say to you, hey, we have a problem with this transmission line, with this marketing tool, with whatever. How do we fix it? And you will classify your answer into, this is the most productive or the quickest, this is the most expensive. So dividing things up gives us a good chance to really become clear in our goal. So how do you pick a topic? If you understand that you are going to share something with us in your essay, you have to pick something that has some depth to it. So let's take a look at what has depth and what doesn't as far as we as instructors are concerned. So something that is not complex might be types of stores. And we're really looking at food stores at the moment. So we have Whole Foods and AJ's, which are our high-end. Middle would be Fry's, Safeways, Albertsons, Bashas', lower price Walmart, Food City. That is not complex. Yes, we can give you details. We can argue whether the definition of high, middle, and low. But really, we are identifying at that point. We're not having a discussion. We're just saying, here's what Whole Foods offers compared to Fry's, which is why it's more expensive. And it's kind of really going nowhere. It's the same as if you were going to write, here are the different types of higher education, trade schools, community colleges, four-year colleges. We beg you as instructors not to just go into the obvious with no goal in mind. Something that would be a little better, and you can see the difference, is the stores don't have a lot of behaviors, but sports fans do. So you could talk about the fanatic and all the characteristics that they buy, all the paraphernalia. Pre-COVID, they might have gone to all the games, stopped their life just to make sure that they were available to watch the team. The fantasy watcher is not watching a team, they're watching players and counting points. and competing against other people they know. And then the blind bandwagon follower might just be that person who is always rooting for the popular team, or maybe it's someone who just always goes with the local brand, and there are lots of behaviors for that. If before COVID you could have done, or even you could still, if you go to a game, there are different types of fans that go to a game. The person who's always getting up and having to get something to eat and making everybody stand up. The person who talks incessantly and you can't focus on the game. The person who you wonder why they're there because they're on their phone or they have their earbuds in. So what you're doing is you're looking for a topic that lends itself to discussion. And the one in the module, What Are Friends For, shows you a really nice discussion of different types of friends. So when you're picking a topic, I think the thing to ask yourself is, what do you want your reader to know? And how will you show this? Am I having a discussion that shows this with my reader? And then once you can answer questions 1 and 2, then you're ready to roll, because it really unfolds itself like a 4 to 5 paragraph essay where you gain our attention and you tell us about the topic, and then you go into the divisions, and in the end you tell us maybe how they are similar, different, and what is it that you really reiterate what you want us to know. Okay, this module goes a little more quickly than the narrative, so keep the deadlines in mind. And if you have any questions, as always, send me an email.